Have you ever experienced this feeling? You say yes to an extra task, but deep down, your chest tightens around a suffocated no. You fear that if you refuse, you'll be seen as selfish by your colleagues. You fear that if you don't work overtime, your position might become unstable. And so, you choose to be the nicest person in the office. But the harsh truth is this: when you fail to set boundaries, you aren't truly helping others. You are simply allowing them to spend your energy as if it were a free resource. Hello, I am your companion on this journey of understanding the mind. Today, we won't talk about aggressive confrontation or rebellion. We will talk about the art of silence. 5 quiet ways to establish boundaries that protect your self-worth while maintaining professionalism and trust from those around you. The first method is leveraging the buffer time effect to establish boundaries around your responsiveness. Imagine a boss or colleague texts you at 9 p.m. or requests an urgent task while you are in the middle of a meeting. Your reflex is to reply immediately to prove your dedication. However, in behavioral psychology, this is known as the expectation of immediacy. When you respond too quickly, you are inadvertently training other people's brains to believe that you are always available and that they can interrupt you at any time. To change this, you don't need to ignore them forever. You simply establish a buffer. Do not reply to non-urgent messages instantly. Wait at least 20 minutes during work hours, or wait until the next morning if it's after hours. A powerful phrase you can use is, "I've received your message. I will get back to you with details at specific time once I've finished my current priority." By doing this, you are sending a silent message. You work according to priorities, not according to the impulses of others. Next, learn to use opportunity cost to decline gracefully. In reality, colleagues often ask you to do a report for them because they are too busy, even if it's not your responsibility. We often fall into the trap of thinking that helping is the best way to bond. But humans often succumb to the convenience fallacy. They ask you because you are compliant, not necessarily because you are better at the task. When you say yes to them, you are actually saying no to the quality of your own work. And instead of a blunt refusal that might cause resentment, offer a choice. You might say, "I'd love to help, but if I do this now, the important project we are pursuing will fall behind schedule. Which one would you like me to prioritize?" This is the mirror technique. It reflects the burden back to the requester and forces them to see the reality that you too are at capacity. The third method involves boundaries of space and presence. You need deep focus. But the open office is too noisy and people keep dropping by for small talk. This is an intrusion into your personal psychological space. If you always leave your door open, you are inviting distraction. Use silent but powerful visual cues. Wearing noise-canceling headphones is one of the most effective do not disturb signs in modern office culture. Additionally, manage your public calendar. Block off segments of time with the title Focus Time or Deep Work. When you do this, the boundary is established by the system and the workflow rather than by your personal feelings, which minimizes any potential ego bruising for others. Fourth, we must understand the law of reciprocity to avoid the rescuer trap. If you are constantly the one fixing other people's mistakes or re-explaining things to those who are too lazy to think for themselves, you are robbing them of their ability to take responsibility. In psychology, overhelping leads to passivity in others. Like, instead of giving them the fish, give them the fishing rod. The next time someone asks a question they could have researched themselves, gently pivot. I remember there's a detailed guide on this in the shared folder. Take a look at that first, and if you're still stuck on the final step, let me know. Set a limit for support, perhaps 5 to 10 minutes. When time is up, politely wrap up and return to your work. This teaches colleagues to respect your time as a finite resource. Finally, the core of all boundaries lies in your body language and an assertive tone. A common mistake is apologizing too much when setting a boundary. Excessive apologizing devalues the boundary and implies that you are doing something wrong. Eliminate unnecessary "I'm sorries." Instead of saying "I'm sorry I can't help," shift to "Thank you for trusting me with this, but I cannot dedicate time to it right now." Keep your back straight, maintain direct eye contact, and use a calm, steady tone. Hesitation in your eyes is the opening others use to push past your limits. Assertiveness isn't aggression. It is simply confidence in your own value. Setting boundaries isn't about being rude or distant. It is how you protect your kindness. Because if you have no boundaries, your help will soon turn into resentment. You will begin to hate your job, hate your colleagues, and eventually hate your own perceived weakness. Remember, the only people who get upset when you set boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. Today, is there anything you said yes to that you truly wanted to say no to? Reflect on that, because the first step to changing the world outside is always repositioning the world within.